Welcome to Living with Moxie, where Shefali Burns and Donna Martouche, authors, entrepreneurs, and leaders in the world of business, education, and coaching, share ideas, resources, and strategies from the hosts and their guests to provide you with the leverage you require to meet and exceed your business and personal goals. Join us for unique insights from outstanding achievers in business, relationships, health, finances, and living as they share strategies, wisdom, and lessons learned on the path to extraordinary living. Are you ready to live with Moxie?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living with Moxie here on OMTimes Radio. I'm your host, Shefali Burns, and Donna Martouche. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And today we are going to be talking about what are we talking about, Donna?
Today we're going to talk about time management, and everybody's always running out of time, and they don't have enough time in their day, and how do you get it all in, and how do you get it all done, and what is it that you're trying to get done anyway?
Exactly. So are you running against time? And sometimes, we go to bed and we're like, where has the day gone? Where has all the time gone? So how are you prioritizing your day? Are you becoming distracted? Are you becoming, getting caught up in all sorts of different things that you don't really want to do, but they're getting your attention because you're not focused?
Yeah, so one of the things that often happens is when people come in and they talk to us when we're working with people, whether it be business, life, it doesn't make a difference. And you can all relate to this. I mean, how many of you actually have planners? You write down your list of things that you want to do in a day, and you've come home and you look at your list of tasks of things that you've had to do, and you didn't even get it halfway done. As a matter of fact, by the end of the day, your list is actually longer. And then you feel really bad about whether you accomplish something or not, whether you're effective or not. And the truth of the matter is, one of the things that we don't do in those situations is we're not asking ourselves if what's on our list is actually what's going to get us where it is that we would like to go. So all of these things that we're filling up in our day, and you hear people say all the time, there isn't enough time in a day. There isn't enough hours in a day. Well, if a day was actually 48 hours instead of 24 hours, and what if it's not about extending the time of the day or having two of you in order to get everything done, but it was more about being really clear about what are the activities for creating your desired result? Really, what are they? I mean, is that what's on your list of things to get done, or is it other stuff that's all about doing that will distract you from reaching your goals? So how many of you actually have planners that you fill up with things to do all day, and you never get to finish it? I know it happened to me many, many times. I think we may have lost Shefali. I don't know. Shefali, are you there?
I think I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay.
So I'm sorry about that. So what I've noticed is people will come in and I'll say, well, what's stopping you from getting things done? Let's take a look at what's on your list of things to do. And often what's on their list of things to do has nothing to do with what their desired result is for the day. So it gets back to sort of connected to what we were talking about last week. Last week we ended by saying, do you really know what your why is? What is your desired result, and what is your outcome? So how many of you actually start your day knowing what it is that your desired outcome or result is for the day that is connected to your ultimate target, your ultimate goal, so that at the end of the day, you know that the activities that you've chosen were actually part of creating the future desired result, desired outcome that you would like to have. And it feels more like fulfillment because you're closer to something that you've measured and you know what you would like to get to versus just a check-off list of things to do. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely. And, and then this comes down to basically, what is your why? So on those days, and I'll be honest, if we have those days, I'm having one today, when nothing is working, everything is just like, technical problems and other problems, and nothing is working. So it's like, oh my goodness. So so that's when you have to really think about what is your why for whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's in business, whether it's in life, whether it's relationships, whether it's, your diet or healthy eating, whatever it happens to be. What is your why? Why are you doing it? Because that is going to help you to focus in on what you're going to do every day, and your those daily tasks. And we don't like that word tasks, but we do things in a regular everyday day, and it's better sometimes if we can focus and clear about why we're doing it, and what is it that we want, and what is it that we want to achieve, and what our desired results are. And sometimes and it's not just a matter of, well, I want to do this, but why, and what do you want to achieve, what's the final outcome. That's what Don is talking about right now. And I think it's so important, and I think that may be one of the key points that we're missing, and that's why we get derailed, right?
Yeah, I think, one of the things that, I've been a teacher for many, many years. I always pick up where we left off last week. We left off saying, think about your why. And that is where we would pick up naturally, just speaking. So, so we've been thinking about our why since last week. What is your why? Now, this could be business, because we've been very business focused in our conversation. It could also be something like, I'd like to lose 15 pounds. Well, why would you like to lose 15 pounds? Because everyone is a size 2 and I'm currently a size 6 or whatever. But that isn't really going to be the why that's going to give you the momentum to keep moving. Is it? If you hit an obstacle, if you go to an event, if you're gaining some weight, if you find yourself distracted, is it strong enough why that's going to keep you moving forward? Or is it going to be a why like, I'd like to live to see my grandchildren, or I would love to feel healthy enough that even at the age of 60, I'm running races like I did when I was 20. Like, what is truly your why that's going to give you the emotion and the push to keep you moving forward on the days that you feel like disconnected from your plan, or off, or derailed, as Shefali said. Derailed would be the word. And every day you should be, if you would like to have a day that's more connected to fulfillment instead of the failure of the things that you didn't get done in a day, you start by saying, what actions what is my desired outcome or my desired result for today that will move me towards my larger outcome, right? So that every activity and everything that you're creating during this plan, whether it be a 5-hour day or a 15-hour day or a 20-hour day, is very much connected to your outcome, because then at the end of the day, you actually feel fulfilled instead of disappointed. And it's also more focused. You'll notice a lot of what was on your to-do list before isn't even remotely the tasks that you'll be doing when you focus on truly your why, and you make it clear and measurable as far as the outcome that you would like to see. Does that make sense?
It does. And also, I was just thinking as well, thinking in my head, but, kind of thinking out loud, in that sometimes it's also about, wow, I just got sidetracked. It's like I had this thought in my head, and then it went. How often does that happen to you, where you have planned to do something and then something happens and you get sidetracked and it's gone? It's gone from your thought. It's gone from your awareness. And you're like, where did that go? But it's about, it's about getting organized, right? So it's about knowing what it is that you want and knowing that you can have it, right? But you have to put in, some organizational skills are required so that you can actually get it, right? And so sometimes, for example, we all make lists. I know I do. But are those the things that you really want to focus on? Is it really going to get you to where you want to go? So each time you start making a list, and I do believe in this sometimes, look at it. It's like, all right, is this really going to help me? Do I really enjoy this? Is this really,
is it connected
energizing?
To your outcome?
Yeah, is it going to contribute, or is it just a waste of time, right? And it's about tuning into the energy of that too. How does it feel in your body? How does it feel in your energy field as well, right? Because sometimes you don't really have to do those things that everybody else is doing. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean you have to, right? It may not be
a lot of the things on our list could be things that we could actually let other people do, or might not be on the priority of list. So if our target is something like, building a phenomenal relationship, or losing 15 pounds, or creating a successful business, whatever your target is, you're asking during the day, what am I doing today? What are my activities today that are going to be part of creating and reaching this result, so that you know what your outcome is for the day? You know what you'd like to be. Is it to reach 10 potential future clients? Is it to get to the post office and drop off the mail? Could somebody else get to the post office and drop off the mail? What is really going to be the largest contribution to your desired result for that particular day? And make sure that the activities that you're putting there are actually connected to it, so that you're fulfilling your ultimate ultimate goal, which is really what you're working towards, your ultimate goal on this particular day. And you're not getting sidetracked or derailed. And life is going to throw things at us all day long. You're going to get the phone call. You're going to open up that piece of mail that's going to make you go, oh my God. But you have a choice in those moments. So really knowing your why, which is so interesting to me because I've worked with people all over the world, as has Shefali, and some of you I've met all over the world, some of you who are listening, and very often I say, what is your why? What is it that you really want? That's what you're really trying to answer when I say, what is your why? What do you really want here? And you want to know the answer to that in several different areas. You want to know that in business or career. You want to know that in your relationship. You want to know that in regards to your own body and health and family. Like there's at least 4 categories that you want to know. What do you truly want in those areas? When I ask that question to a crowd of people, whether it be 50 people or 5,000 people, almost everyone looks back at me with this blank stare as though it is the most difficult question they've ever been asked, or though they've heard it for the first time. And I'm not saying that it's just so.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Hi everyone, this is Shay Parker, the host of Best of the Best, which airs live right here on IOM Radio every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited to bring you expert guest hosts, spiritual discussions, free psychic readings, and so much more. I can promise that you will not want to miss this one-of-a-kind, fun, yet touching, down-to-earth show. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on OTR FM. This is Shay Parker, and I can't wait to see you there.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Join me, Maggie Chula, on Mondays at noon Eastern for Mastermind with Maggie. Let's work together in a mastermind. We can resolve life's problems and create goals for the future. Build action steps empowering you to create your life in partnership with your divine source of light, your soul. Manifesting your goals can be simple and easy, so come with your problems and leave with a plan. The Akashic Master Teachers and I are waiting to help you.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
I get so excited about what it is that we're talking about. So what I really wanted to be able to say to everybody is not knowing your why is so common. If you're feeling like you don't know what it is that you truly, truly want, that is the greatest gift that this show could be for you then, because I remember the first time somebody asked me and I literally cried. I couldn't answer the question. I said, I should know that. That should be the easiest question somebody asked me. What do you truly want? If you could have anything in the world and there was no obstacles, and that's really the way you want to ask yourself that question. What would you truly want? And then you start from there, because that's the biggest key. That's what's going to give you the emotion and the motivation and the determination and the drive to really go for it, right? So what do you think, Shefali?
Absolutely, Donna. And I was just sitting here laughing because it is so funny. This is one of the things that I think is so important. And obviously Donna and I are on the same page, and that's why we both find this to be so important. And it is, because me, growing up, I was never taught to ask, what do you really want? Nobody ever asked me, what do you really want? It was when I started changing my life, and then I started asking myself, what do I really want? And that's what I teach and share with my clients. That is the number one question, is what do you really want? If there's no obstacles, if there's no restrictions, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, what do you really want? And, this is a new way of thinking, and it's a new way of being, because people are not used to asking that question. And the thing is, once you ask, so many different ideas and awarenesses will come to you of what's possible for you. And so then you have to rein in your mind, because your mind is going to say, well, no, you can't do that, and no, you can't do that, and no, you can't do that. Right. So I always, like to do like a brainstorming session of, for 5-10 minutes with a friend, because it just makes it so much easier, where you just write down everything that just comes to your mind, your awareness, everything you've ever thought of, and just write it all down. And it's so freeing. And you can get like 100 things on that page. And then you can start to choose, feel the energy of it, feel what resonates with you, and start to choose where you want to start. Because it's not about, I'm going to do this and that's it. No, it's about, where do you want to start? You can do all of it, right? So it's about choosing in this moment what is really exciting you.
And I think that there's something even more to it than that. I think that one of the things that, what comes to the next step is, what do you really want? And then developing a result-oriented target so that So if I really want to lose weight, don't just say, I'd like to lose weight. And I'm using that for my own life, because over the last few years when I experienced being sick, I had gained a lot of weight, and weight was not a concern to me. Health was a concern to me. And then as I really began to feel healthy, I looked and said, oh my goodness, I gained weight. And then I started to lose weight rapidly. And I said, well, what is my target here? Because it stopped all of a sudden, the weight loss. And I never really had set a clear goal on, well, is it a pound? Like, is it a weight number? Is it a health factor? Is it that I want to accomplish this much in a day? There's a big difference on how you plan your activities and map out what you'd like to accomplish. If you're clear, I could say, I'd just like to lose a couple of more pounds, but that isn't truly my target. My target is to strengthen my body. My target is to be able to do some physical activities that I was doing 15 years ago, as though, like even better than I did it 15 years ago. So I'm talking about strength building. I'm talking about stamina and endurance. I'm talking about, it's so much more than weight in my target. So as I sit there, I say to myself, I always ask my clients, I want you to do this in 4 areas. What do you really want? And in each area, give yourself 5 minutes, like Shefali said, to write down everything that comes to your mind if you had no obstacles. Your true, most ideal relationship, what does that look like? What would the result be? Would that be you giving? Would that be you, receiving? Like, there's different levels of relationship for everybody. It helps you figure out what you would want your partner to look like, or where you would even go to meet them. Your business. I mean, for me, when it comes to career and business, I want to make a significant impact. I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to make a difference in people's lives in a really big way. And it started out in education and expanded in education in multiple levels, but that's really important to me. And I'll tell you why I want you to write it in just a minute. Shefali, do you want to add anything to that, though?
No, I thought that was great, because I was going to suggest the same type of thing too, because even for your day, in your day-to-day life, when you are writing down your tasks for the day, try and think of those 4 different areas, of what you would like to achieve and accomplish, and the final outcome, so that your tasks can be oriented towards everything, not just one thing, right? And that kind of prevents burnout,
It does. It prevents burnout, but it also prevents you from putting things on your list that are not connected to your targets.
Yeah.
Because we have a tendency to be doing, and we think doing is creating, and it's not. Doing is just busy.
Yes, exactly.
So what people say to me is, well, this all sounds really wonderful. And I said, well, you try this for 4 weeks as we're going through the plan. And what they notice at the end of a few weeks of them truly doing this, once they're really clear on what their goals and their actual target, like broken down, let's get clear, let's make it measurable, is that at the end of the day, they accomplish more in 5 hours and feel more fulfilled than they did in 20. And they're doing very different things than their planner had them doing in the beginning. So how does it get any better than that?
And that is okay. It's okay to be doing different. Different is great. If that's what moves you, if that's what gets you going, if that's what keeps you focused and motivated, different is great.
Yeah, and by different, what I mean is, initially, if you take what people have on their planners, it's a list of tasks that they have to get done during the day. I have to call the health insurance company. I have to make sure I get this person on the benefits plan. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I have to get to the gym. I have to do my morning routine. I have to pick up somebody at 3 o'clock. I have to, and their plan starts to move from their list of have-tos to a description of want-tos that are connected to something that is truly a contribution to their overall outlook of what it is that they want to be and do and accomplish and achieve in their life. So it's connected to achievement and fulfillment, not this to-do list. That's what I mean by different. And what you find out is that a lot of the other things are no longer even on your list. Like you found other ways to get those things done, and you're doing the part that is much more connected to the meaning of everything that you're choosing all the time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And sometimes, there are many things that I could do, but, it doesn't fulfill me. They don't inspire me. They're kind of like not fun for me. So yeah, I have farmed those tasks out, right? So that I can focus on what brings me joy, what motivates me, what inspires me, what energizes me, and what I have fun with. Because, living life is supposed to be fun, right? So it can be fun when you're choosing for you, right? Instead of just doing these tasks because you feel like you should. And of course, that one word "should" is not even in my dictionary, but I thought I would bring it up here just so that you guys could hear it. I don't believe in that word at all, so it's taken out of my dictionary and my vocabulary because I don't use it. There are no shoulds. It's more of what is right for you. Do that.
And really remembering what your outcome is. So even if you ask yourself every morning, what do I want my outcome to be today? What are my results? And you make your results, and this is the part that gets even harder because you got to push yourself. Make your results really measurable, break them down so that you know and you can see how far you've come throughout, and you're not general because, again, like I said, you can get lost in the general where you feel like you never actually get there and you most likely accomplished your goal, but you never made it really clear what your goal was. Breaking it down and making it into measurable results is really important. And one of the ways to help you do that is to make sure that you start practicing asking yourself very effective questions. So what do I want is the beginning of asking yourself a really great question, but then actually making that what you want into something much more clear, defined, and measurable will help you, again, guide you throughout the day. And what happens is the next part is you ask yourself, why? Why do I want that? That becomes and we asked you the why last week. Why do I want that? Why do I want that? Because we want you to connect emotion, I would love for you to connect emotion. I'm just thinking of ways that can help you really, truly change the way you look at time, right? Because there's two things to do. You could be a task manager, which is not someone who is going to be a successful leader, or you could be someone who's going to be a leader. And the leaders become very, very effective at questioning and creativity and using time very differently. It's not about time management. It's truly about results management. So
ooh, I like that, results management. See, I can wrap my head around results management much more easily than time management. When I think of time management, it feels very, like you said, task-oriented, right? A task manager is if somebody's standing there watching the clock and seeing how many things I'm going to do, right? But when it comes to results-oriented, it's much more expansive, and it's also kind of broader, right? So it gives me more flexibility.
Yeah. And then it comes to the why do you want it, and that's your purpose. And last week we talked about purpose, giving you the meaning, giving you the drive, and I used September 11th as an example, or the day that John F. Kennedy had been shot. Moments in time that people tend to remember exactly where they were, exactly what they were doing. The time that if you're a parent, when your first child was born, or your child was born, or something significant happened in your life at whatever time, those are the days, the moments that you tend to remember every single detail as though it's going in slow motion, and you really remember it. Why? Because it has an emotional attachment. And if you really want to be driven, and there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be plans that we create that aren't going to work out the way that we intend it to the first time, the second time, the third time, possibly even the fifth time. But if we are connected to the purpose, the emotion, the drive, then we will have the determination, the perseverance, the emotional push to keep going until you get to the finish line, regardless of the obstacles that come in the way. So the second piece after getting your what you want is the why you want it. So we're going to go back to that why. Why you want it becomes your drive. Purpose is your power. You use it like a machine that drives your car, right? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And we will talk about more about purpose when we come back from break, because we're going to go to break in just a minute. And purpose is something, is really, really important. And it's so important for us to get clear on that purpose. And that purpose has to be right for us. And it has to be something that is inspirational. I think it should inspire you, because it's going to help you to move forward with greater momentum, knowing what that purpose is. So we are definitely going to be talking about that when we come back, right, Donna?
Absolutely, we will. So we're looking forward to it, and we'll talk to you right after this brief break that hasn't started yet. So there you go. We're getting used to the timing here.
So during the break, why don't you think about what your purpose is? For those 4 different areas, or 4 or 5 different areas, think about what your purpose is, and we'll talk about those when we come back.
You're listening to OTR FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Do you have time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth Radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hello, I'm Miriam Knight of New Consciousness Review, inviting you to my new show where I interview the rising stars of the conscious awakening. We'll explore the many faces of consciousness in action and intriguing perspectives on life, the universe, and everything in between. Join us each Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Rising Stars Show.
You're listening to OTR FM, part of the IOM radio network.
We're talking today about time management, 3 keys to time management. And right now we were going to talk a little bit about, or probably a lot, about purpose. Purpose is going to push us forward. Purpose is going to be our motivator. So Donna, let's jump in here and talk about purpose.
Absolutely. One of the things that I do, and Shefali does, we each have programs that do it, is this idea of consciously and deliberately creating your life, right? Yes. It's not about going through the motions of life. It's about truly knowing the life that you would like to create, because, those of you who are listening to this show already know that you create your life. And that's one of the reasons why you're sitting here or listening, if you're listening or you're tapped in or you're tuned into this station at this particular moment, is you are aware that there's consciousness, that you can create your life, that you have an impact, that you don't have to live in this reaction mode, and that life doesn't have to be about going through the motions, right? So how many of us have lived, I know that I've lived parts of my life where I just went through the motions of what I feel like was almost, even let's look at undergraduate school or something like you get this long list of things to do, you get it done, you go through the motions, but how much of that was I part of consciously creating? I don't know. I mean, not that I was consciously creating it in any way. It wasn't until the last 15 years that I got, oh my goodness, like, I can sit here and complain about my life, or I can totally, completely create a life that I love from this conscious place and create a life that is fulfilling, because life is fulfilling. And I'm lucky. I've always, or maybe I shouldn't say I'm lucky. I was always one to create from that aspect to some extent. But in the last years, it's been a lot more. So purpose is really one of those things. It's you tapping in, like Shefali said before, to the energy of who you really are, of what you know is possible, of what would really allow you to feel fulfilled. Different for everybody. And the important thing here is, I heard Anthony Robbins say it once, the important thing here is it's not that you and your business team, or you and your family, or you and whoever need to come up with the same reason why you would like to have a result. You do have to agree on the result, but your whys could be different, right? Someone may decide that they want to be part of a health food company because they had someone in their family pass away of cancer or diabetes or something, and they're really passionate about, making people feel, giving people access to things that will really increase health. And somebody else just might have a very different person or different why, but have the same desired result. So not everybody has to have the same why, but what you'd like to accomplish would need to be the same. Now here we're talking about your purpose, your why, knowing why you would like to have that result. And that becomes the motor to your car. When I'm teaching kids, I always say, okay, well, your actions are driven. That's sort of like it's driven by what it is that you want. That's how I literally teach them when I'm teaching kids about what it is that they're choosing. We talk about that being your car that gets you where you want to go. You know that you want something, so you choose a behavior to get you there, right? So what is your why? What is your purpose for what you want? Why do you want what you want? Is what it comes down to. And I would literally post that everywhere so that you don't forget it. So on the days that it's just not working and everything feels like it's, I'm so sorry. Take over from there for 1 second, Shefali. Go ahead.
We knew that was going to happen, so it's just about the timing, right? And and I talk about this all the time too. So, what is your why? Why do you want whatever it is that you want? And it doesn't really matter what that is, but you have to strongly feel it. And one of the things I say all the time is, and then once you decide what that is, once you choose what your why is, then you have to have that oomph, that get up and go, that drive, that you're going to do it, or achieve it, receive it, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, I'll be honest, in business, especially in business, you got to do whatever it takes. And even in relationships, right? So, for example, I'll just share with you while Donna's busy with the dogs. I'll just share with you. Okay, good. And I was just going to share that, when I first met my now husband, at the time, I wanted that relationship. I knew that. And then the why was because it made me feel really good. It made me feel really fulfilled. It made me feel complete, even though I am complete, but it just made me feel so much better, right? And then so many things came up, and I had to keep going back to, my why, and then do I really want it? How badly do I want it? Because, this was like over a couple of years, and it was like long distance, across the pond and all that wonderful stuff. So, it can be difficult, right, having a relationship like that. So I had to really get clear on how badly I wanted it, and then what would it take for me to be open to receiving that and doing what it took to maintain it, right? So, for me, it's about perseverance and strength and that strong why.
Yeah, because we're always going to hit a spot where there's going to be this patch of we kind of don't know. Like we just it doesn't seem like we've tried everything and it's not working. We've tried everything and it's not working, and then we've literally got to keep going. We've got to keep trying. Shefali, I'm going to pass that on to you, and we're going to move on.
And sometimes, Donna, you just mentioned the unknown. And right now, and I've heard this from a lot of people, right now so many of us are living in the unknown. And, there are many people who are in transition, meaning they're moving, moving careers, moving locations, houses, relationships are ending. There's a lot of energy right now in that transition and movement and into the unknown. Nobody knows where they're going, right? So what do you do when it's like, I don't know, but I know I'm going, I know this is what I want. I don't know how it's gonna look like when I get there or how I'm supposed to get there. But, you have to sometimes in those moments of the unknown, hook into your why, have that faith in yourself that you'll get there, because it can sometimes be a little difficult, right?
Absolutely. It can be really difficult. And it's your knowing your why that will get you there. And then the other thing is, once you know your why and you're clear, what you really want to do is make sure that you make a map now. So your step 3 to making sure that you totally look at time in a completely different way is to now come up with a massive plan. And your massive, the reason why I use the word massive is often people will write a plan that goes from here to there, and there's only one route on the plan. But what I would really say to somebody is, I don't want you to have just one route. I want you to have, I had a boss once who was the greatest gift to me in the whole entire world, in the sense of anytime we had to restructure a department or come up with something that was going to be really out of the box thinking, he gave me a little bit of leeway. Sometimes a little bit meant 24 hours, but a little bit of leeway before I had to restructure, staff and people for over 28,000 students. But, and what we had to do was, he would say to me, come to me with 5 plans, 5 maps of what this could look like. And I, at that time, hated him for that. I just want you to know, I just wanted to choke him. You give me all this work to do, and we're probably never going to use any one of these 5 plans. But it was the greatest gift to me, because what I realized was I now was able to automatically start to develop multiple plans so that if A didn't work right here mid-gear, I already knew a way that I can shift and still keep momentum. Because the hard part, which is what you spoke about in relationship, is when you hit this patch where it doesn't feel like you're connected to where it is that you'd love to be, and you're missing that somehow, or you feel derailed, you lose momentum.
Yeah.
Unless you can literally build an action plan that has multiple routes for you, all connected to your why and your purpose. And then you have less chance of losing momentum, and you can still persevere because you've already thought about that. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely. And that's a great idea, because then there's always a fallback. It's not I don't like that word fallback, but there's always another way. It gives you more choice, right? So as you're watching your results, as you're watching your progress, and if you see, because you can tell I'm not getting there, then take a look at your other plans and see, okay, what can I do now, right? What else is possible that I can do now? Let's take a look at these other plans and inject something in from one of these and see what happens.
Right.
So,
and it's not something you haven't thought about, right? If you're learning to fly a plane, you have to think about what happens if all of a sudden an engine fails. Well, you've already practiced that. You already know that. So when it happens, you're not surprised or in shock. You've got this plan already in place. You might have to think about to pull it back for you, but it's not like no one ever told you that it was a possibility. It's not like somebody didn't offer you alternatives, like you could do this or this if that were going to happen. So if you've allowed your mind to go down all of those routes, the chances of you losing momentum, or worse yet, even just stopping, become a lot slimmer. So I would literally say, my old supervisor used to say, make sure that you have 5. I'm somebody who always says 3 to 5 additional plans on how you're going to get from here to there. And the hardest part, which is probably going to surprise most people who are listening, the hardest part of that is being honest about where you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And you have to be honest with yourself, because only you know where you are and where you want to go. Right? Nobody else knows where exactly you are and where you want to go. So then that middle ground between where you are and where you want to go is a huge place where you can play. Different energies can come in, different ideas, different contributions, different people can come in. And, when you think about that, it's it's so empowering, right? And it's so much creativity is possible for you. You're not stuck.
Absolutely. So what generally happens now is what I'm saying to you is the hardest part. And again, this is about being conscious, which Shefali said earlier. This is about being, any time you're deliberately creating your life. What you're talking about is creating a map from where you are to where you want to be. That's always my tagline. Mm-hmm. That's literally what I say to my clients. This is about getting you from where you are to where you want to be, right? Mm-hmm. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to acknowledge to yourself and to whoever you're going to allow to help you to get there, truly where you are, which is something many of us often at one point or another, including myself, lie to ourselves about, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to swallow where we are. It's not a place where we intended to be, or maybe we didn't get there thinking it through all the way or whatever. And so it's not always the easiest part, but it is the most important part, because otherwise your map just isn't going to work.
Yeah, wow, that's big. And so that's something that I invite all of you listening now to really take a look at. Where are you? Just tune in to your energy, tune into your heart space, just tune in, not your head, but just tune into you and ask yourself, where am I and where do I want to be? So we'll be back here on Living with Moxie on OMTimes Radio in just a few moments.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Every Tuesday on Living with Moxie, join Shefali Burns and Donna Martouge in conversations designed to take you to the next level, where we highlight ideas, resources, and strategies that provide you with the leverage you require to meet and exceed your business and personal goals. Each week on Living with Moxie, we will lead conversations related to success, achievement, fulfillment, and extraordinary, vibrant living. Are you ready to live with Moxie? Join us.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive, dedicated community. As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
The name is Bond. James Bond.
No, the name is Joe. The Joe Show. And we are returning back for our 9th season here on OMTimes Radio. So tune in every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on OMTimes.com/mobile. You can take us wherever you go. Yeah!
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Hello, everyone. We are back on Living with Moxie here on OMTimes Radio. And as you know, if you've been with us, we have been talking about time management, the 3 keys to time management. And so we are going to continue with that. And I think when we left off, I invited you to think about and look at, where are you? Where are you at, right? Because sometimes, like Donna said, we don't take a look at that honestly, right? So have you taken a look at where are you really and where do you want to be?
Yeah, in order to create a real map, obviously, I mean, if you want to go from New York to California, you need to know where in New York you are and where in California you'd like to get to, right? So otherwise the map is just going to kind of really not going to be quite helpful in getting you where you want to go. It might get you general direction, but you never might not even get you there. Both happen to be very large areas of space, so or it might not be the easiest route or the most direct route. So that is really important. One of the other things that I'd love to ask, think about. So now let me just recap that really quickly because we're getting close to the end. So the first thing was really understanding what it is, getting clear. What would you like to accomplish? What is it you would like to create? What is it that you really want? That's the question. What do you want? The second part is knowing why you want what you want, because that's your purpose. That's the gas in your car. That's your motor that's getting you where you want to go, right? And the third part is developing multiple maps to get you there, so that if you actually get distracted or hit a bump, and you will, you have alternatives already in your mind. You're like, okay, cool, I was prepared for this. I could totally go another way. And getting really honest about where you are right now. And then the other thing that I'd love for you to think about is something that is a whole, I'm really big on understanding your own triggers, right? So we all have them. So the way that I usually help people see them is, so you have things that you don't follow through on, and you have things that you often do follow through on. What I've noticed in general is that the words that we use when we talk about doing each of the things are different. So you want to get really clear on the words that you use that are your triggers, that are really motivational, that get you like, I'm choosing this, and you never veer from that track, versus, yeah, okay, I think I'll do that, or I'll try it. And you know that it never gets the poof out the door kind of momentum. And we aren't always conscious about what those triggers are for us. I know, again, for me to say significant impact on children, or on families, or on single parents, or on consciousness, or on, like, those are triggers for me. That gets me really pumped about doing something. We all have our triggers really push us through the gate and keep us going. And we have those that will fizzle out. If you could learn what yours are that you could use to your advantage, that would be really helpful. And one of the ways to do that is by looking at the things that you've never followed through on, that you kind of say you're going to do. How do you describe it to yourself? What are the things that are the words that are used in conjunction with, yeah, I think I want to lose a couple of pounds, versus I'm going to lose 12 pounds by August 1st, and this is my why. Like, there's different words that you use that will get you to move, and only you know what they are, because I'm not talking to you directly right now. But if you tap in and get real honest with yourself, and then you want to attach those words to the things that you really want.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so vital, so important. The power of your thoughts, right? And what are you thinking? What words are you using? And it's not just the thoughts and the words. It's also what are you feeling? Those negative feelings sometimes, and positive, the emotion behind it all, right? So this is really important to be aware of how and what we're thinking, how and what we are feeling in each moment. That's how we become conscious creators, right? Conscious creators of our reality, by being aware of these things. Oh, so important, Donna.
Yeah. And that brings us, next week we're going to be talking about the power of your thoughts. And one of the books that I was just a part of that was a bestseller, which was Transformation and Find Your Wings. That was a phenomenal. The chapter that I contributed was Change Your Thoughts and Create Your Life. It's not change your life. It's, for me, thoughts are creation. It's an energy, and it's about creation. And understanding language and the impact that language has on you. I mean, that's really what all NLP is about. It's truly about what consciousness creation is about. It's really powerful information, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, it's Donna and I are definitely on the same page, because, one of my seasons on my telesummit, I think it was called Change Your Energy and Create Your New Reality, right? Because it's all about creating your reality as you go, in each moment, every day, based on what are you thinking, what are you feeling, what is your energy like, what are you focused on, right? So we are both really strong advocates of creating your reality, and how do you do that, and what resources do you use? And one of those is the words and your thoughts. So we're going to be looking into that more deeply next week for sure. But even today, start being aware, start becoming aware of what you're thinking, especially your repetitive thoughts, right? And if you can, write them down, right? Just to get an idea of what it is that you're constantly saying to yourself. And then you can start to change those. Once you're aware of them, you can change them, and then you'll start to see how your new reality starts to shape up.
Yeah, and what I'd like you to look at is, I really would love for you, if we were sitting down and you were taking notes during this class, what I'd love during this class, listen to me, see, I'm the teacher, I'm sorry. If you were going to write something down right now, aside from writing down what you really want in those multiple areas and spending 5 minutes on it, and then what I would love for you to do is, and I think I might have said this to you at another point in time, or maybe I just put it on a post on Facebook or on Twitter. If you're not following us there, please do, and engage in some conversations. We'd love to hear from you. I said, once you write that down after that 5 minutes and put a timeline. So that, I would love to create $1 million when? This year, next year, the next 12 months, the next 3 months. I would love to build a foundation for, teenagers and single parents. I would love to, whatever your targets are. And one area would be contribution. One area would be career, business, whatever that is. One area would be relationships, or something along those lines. And another area would be about you personal, health, body, personal, and you could put one in there for fun. Like, what would you love to do? I'd love to, skydive, or, something that you just, and you put no barriers, no limitations, everything. The world is your oyster. You get to choose. And if you could choose and there were no barriers, and that's how you fill it out. And then you go back and you put your timelines. And then the only task I would add to that is I'd like you to put down the words that really get you pumped. Become really aware of them and start connecting them to the things that you're excited that you want to create in your future. So I told you significant impact, children, families. I work a lot with families of children, that have disabilities. I do that, a tremendous amount of that my whole entire life. It's something that really drives me, making a difference there. So, I'm becoming and have become over the years pretty aware of what drives me. Know what drives you and use it to your advantage. So start writing that down. What words get you like, I am doing this, and then you never veer away from it because it means that to you. Do you know what your words are, Shefali?
Oh, there's so many, but like you said, contribution. For me, it's a bit consciousness, healing, power. It's a what ignites your energy within you? Because sometimes, you have those slump days, right? So these words are going to help you to propel and ignite that energy, that passion within you, to get you moving, right? To get you focused and stay on your path, right? Because we can easily get distracted. We can easily get diverted. And that is not how we achieve our goals. And so, you mentioned fun. And I was just thinking for myself, I think I told my husband this, I'm not sure, but as I'm moving to Europe in less than 2 weeks now, I've already decided that once a month we are going to go away somewhere so that I can start to see what is in Europe, right? So that's fun for me. So we're going to be doing a lot of traveling. So I've already said once a month we're going to go somewhere.
So if he didn't know that, he knows that now.
He knows it now. Right, and that's fun. And I even put a time, like once a month, and it's going to happen as soon as I get there. So it's like, yeah, we're going to start. Because if I wait, what am I waiting for? It's like, I want to create this for myself. This is important for me. And so I started on it as soon as I get there. Well, actually, I've already started looking at different cities that I want to go to. So, I've already started.
And if I was going to create, for my clients, what I do is I create planners for them. So in the planners, instead of having a daily task, at the end of the day, it says, it literally has what you write down in the morning, what it is what you would like your result to be for the day. And then you are really results focused. And I told you, I sent to them an email at the end of every day. What actions did you take towards achieving your goal today? Mm-hmm. And another question I asked them is, what was most fulfilling for you today? Because the day should not be about you looking at your to-do list and shaking your head because you didn't get half of it done. And that's where many of my clients are starting from. That's where I was starting from some time ago, is feeling really bad about not getting it done. So what if it's not about time management and it's really about creation and developing and creating the results that you want in your life? And once you shift your thoughts related to that, what you've really got is more time on your hands, more accomplished in the time that you have. Everything that you're doing is very different than what you're doing today, I guarantee it.
And there'll be so much more passion, so much more energy in it, and so much more of that joy we're always looking for, fun that we're always looking for, because we see ourselves going towards the results that we desire. So, right.
And it's not every part of it's going to be fun. Like, I don't want to give everybody, there's parts of it that's going to feel like, this is a part, there's going to be parts that you're not going to love. I mean, you don't get to always the parts that you love. Let's be honest here. But when you attach it to what's going to be fulfilling for you at the end of the day, you still have the passion and the fulfillment there, whether it was whether that particular if it gave you joy or not, right? Because you're focused on the idea of creation. And when I think of creation, I'm not talking about a to-do list, but that's what my day is. My day is about creation. It's not about tasks. And creation gets me pumped.
Absolutely. And that's what we're creating here. We are creating a platform for you to start to think about how you can start to create your reality. So join us next week as we talk about the power of your thoughts here on Living with Moxie. So have a great week, everyone. Donna, did you have any last words of wisdom for them? Like you have like 5 seconds.
Nope. Create a phenomenal week, everybody. Looking forward to being with you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so grateful for you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Yeah.